Hello, welcome to the Real Internet Comfort YouTube channel. My name is Antoinette Smith and I am your author. Remember to get your books, people. Some of them are on sale at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Google, Apple iTunes, Walmart.com, Target.com, Books A Million, Kobo, Indigo, and Tails. All of them come in paperback and digital version. Get your copies today. Do not forget about my new book release, My Jesus Experience or Journey. It comes with its own bookmark. Send me proof that you have purchased any of my products and I will get your bookmarks and loyalty cards out to you. If you would like an author's collection box of the Real Internet Come Forth or the Behind the Scene book series, let me know and I will get it shipped out to you, okay? We are reading from my new release, my Life After Losing a Child. It is about the loss of my son, Antonio Smith Scott, in honor of my mother, Flora Scott. And it is about losing a child and losing siblings in early childhood. So we will be reading from chapter 4 today. It is titled The Now Delusion. The now, the act of declaring something to be untrue, a statement that something is not true, the refusal of something requested or desired. That is the Webster's Dictionary. The now is a coping mechanism that gives you time to adjust to distressing situations. But staying in the now can interfere with treatment or your ability to tackle challenges. If you're in denial, you're trying to protect yourself from refusing to accept the truth about something that's happened in your life. And that is from the mayoclinic.org. Excuse me. Delusion. Delusion is the disbelief or impression that is firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted as reality or rational argument, typically a symptom of mental disorder. That is the Oxford Language Dictionary. Delusion, the act of deluding or a state of being deluded. Delusional disorder in which a person cannot tell what is real from what is imagined. The main feature of this disorder is the presence of delusions, which are unshakable beliefs of something untrue. And that is the clevelandclinic.org. Excuse me. Anxiety is often the cause of delusions. Delusions are beliefs that are not true. Delusions are linked to directly from psychosis, but not all delusions are that extreme. In fact, anxiety commonly causes delusional thinking simply because of what it's like to deal with anxiety. And that is from calmclinic.com. Now, I know you are wondering why I use the words denial and delusion at the same chapter. As for me, they both went hand in hand in my grief process. After I received the initial shock of my son's death, it left me traumatized. As a quick form of coping with the news, I immediately went into denial to survive the shock. Some part of me knew he was gone, but it was a very small part of me. The biggest part of me said, okay, this is not real. This is not true. He will be coming home soon. He will call me soon. See, my son had moved from Mississippi to Illinois almost 2 years ago to be with his father. He would call me maybe 1 or 3 times a month, but text more. That's just how boys are, at least my boys. Now, my girls, on the other hand, it's a daily conversation with all 3 of them, or at least 2. But one calling, texting, or both every day. So when you have 5 children, you're happy with the hearing of them all. You know their needs. You know their needs from you and their needs from their other parent. I realized this method and reality years ago with my children. But one thing I instilled in all 5 of them is you are all you have. We are all we have together. And when you don't have me or your father, you have your siblings. So my children was very close in their relationships. They talked daily 4 or 5 times, some closer than others because of age and relationship. So I knew on the daily basis how all 5 of them were doing from each child of mine. The 2 that were at home were in contact with the 3 oldest that had moved out. This system gave me great peace and joy to know that that I created a strong bond with my children by example for my children to have a strong bond in their life and with each other. I never was upset about their relationship with their father because I enforced their relationship with him. Even though we were even though we had our differences in our years, even still to this day, I encourage my children's relationship with their father, even though we're divorced and I'm happily remarried. Don't make your children choose between parents. God knew each child needed two parents, one mother and one father. That each parent would have something the child needs to help them to grow and develop into a productive adult. Sad to say, many parents don't have this revelation before, during, or after the children arrive and the romantic relationship is over. With the romantic relationship is over with the child as proof of the union. But that's a whole nother topic. Details of this matter cannot be found in this book. Details of this matter can be found in my book titled After the Pain, Value Number 2, the Behind the Scene book series. So I told myself that man was just busy with work and he would call or to text me soon. Even though I'm awaiting to go to the funeral arrangements and talking to my family daily in different states, handling all the business, I will not allow myself to fall apart or to be overtaken with grief. My children needed me. My granddaughter needed me. She has no clue her father is dead and she will never see him again. So I shut down emotionally and told myself, this is a dream. I will wake up soon. Hold on, some water. I got allergies, y'all. I'm telling you. Okay. And I will wake up soon. We had the funeral, the burial, and the repast. I was full of anger, though it all I was full of anger through it all because people crying, upset, carrying on, putting on shows like they really care. Some do and some don't. Excuse me. I have to sit through all this foolishness and just smile and say, thank you so much for coming. Thank you all for your help, prayers, and concern. While thinking to myself, Lord, what in the world is really going on? Well, while I'm asking him what's going on with the death of my child, he was talking to me about ministry, speaking, and preaching. I was so shocked I pulled into the next car. I pulled into the next exit, stopped at the gas station. Excuse me, stopped at the gas station, went into the bathroom to have a conversation with the Lord. I said, you want me to do what? He said, it's time for you to do what I called you to do. And I saw a vision of me speaking in front of a crowd of people, and I was preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. I said, okay, Lord, I will obey you. See, I had backslid from God months ago and stopped ministry because of a lot of the hurts of the ministry. You can read about that part of my life in the book series, The Real Internet Come Forth, volume 7 through 9. Volume number 8, Birth and Pains, which is the book about the death of my child and the death of a mate. This death of my son was a life and death experience for me. It killed me and gave me life all at the same time. The death of my son changed me forever. I became a very new person by force and choice, I'll say. Excuse me. As each day passed with my son gone, I went about my days being strong for my children on the outside, but dying myself on the inside, fighting for some light, some clarity, some understanding daily, asking God all kinds of questions, repenting of all kinds of sins, faults, mistakes, actions I had committed toward him, toward people, toward my son, toward myself. I developed a high level of guilt for the death of my child. I blamed myself even though I wasn't at fault or it wouldn't happen. I blame myself because maybe there was more I could have done to keep him here with me in Mississippi, to keep him safe. I remember all the nights and days of praying and fasting for him to be a man of God called him to be. I remember all the talks with pastors and deacons to help me with the man of God. I remember all the conversations, curfews, threats, punishments, beatings I gave him to assure that he would be respectable and an honorable man. When you grieve, all kinds of things, memories, and thoughts enter into your mind. Some are real and some are not. This is where the delusions came into play. I began to create different stories in my mind about you begin to create different stories in your mind about your deceased child. You begin to see them alive and think they are alive and just living somewhere else. This is how I survived for the first 2 years of my son's death. I told myself he was still living in Illinois. I would not talk about his death at all. I never went into details at all, not even 7 years later. So parents, siblings, don't allow anyone to tell you or force you to talk about your loss or push you through the grieving process so quickly. We we all have our own course and pace of healing and acceptance. My grief process caused a lot of tension and arguments with some of my children, my mother, my son's father. It caused problems in my relationship with my two ex-fiancés. They could not understand me. They wanted the old Antoinette back. Everyone did. His death changed every relationship I had in my life. Some I never rekindled. They are lost for good, and I am really okay with that because I am a very different woman today than I was before my son's death. But after his death, I became the woman God created me to be, a woman of great influence and destiny. I can truly say there is life after losing a child. So please don't feel ashamed or bad that you are living in a denial state or a delusion to cope through the loss of your child at this time. You do whatever you need to do to survive each day. No one can survive for you. No one can live for you. This is your cross you must carry. This is your journey called life. Only you can live it. And I'm going to end the chapter right there. Remember to get your books, get your books, get your books. We are dealing with a very sensitive subject. This is life after losing a child and life after losing a sibling. So these are very sensitive topics. So remember, until we meet again, God gets the glory and I tell the story. Goodbye.